Centralia, Pennsylvania was a normal anthracite coal mining town. Anthracite is the purest and least common type of coal. It is difficult to ignite, but once burning, it is extremely hard to put out. Centralia used to be a booming mining town, but started to decline, only having around 1,400 residents in 1962. On May 27th, a huge mistake was made. The town had filled an old strip mine with trash and made it into the town landfill. In preparation for Memorial Day celebration, officials wanted to clean up the town and the borough council decided to set the landfill on fire, unknowing anthracite coal was right by the surface. This started a fire that traveled through the network of abandoned mine tunnels under the town. Firefighters attempted to extinguish it, but with no avail. No matter how much water they poured onto it, it continued to burn. In June of 1962, state authorities put money towards moving the garbage around in the dump and putting more water on it. This seemed to work for a few months, but the fire had already spread beyond the landfill and deeper into the coal mines. In November, they began an effort to drill into the fire and to put it out, not realizing the holes provided a natural draft, increasing the fires. But by spring of 1963, the project ran out of money and the fire was still blazing. Next, they attempted to dig a trench to isolate the fires from Centralia, but they found the fire had already crossed into the town and that the fire was as deep as 225 feet. They revised their plans and decided to try experimental fly ash barriers in 1969. Fly ash is a byproduct of burning coal in power plants and is now very controversial due to the number of toxins found in it. The same year, residents in Centralia, Pennsylvania started to feel the effects of the fires as people started to get headaches and nausea. After some pressure from residents, the Bureau of Mines dug a small trench to protect some homes. By 1974, the fly ash barrier was completed, but it had already failed since 1972 when the fire was detected beyond the barrier. Officials ignored the problem and stood by the success of the barrier until 1977 when they could no longer deny the fire was growing. They started to drill boreholes, but they were steaming and hot to the touch. And in June of 1979, carbon dioxide and other deadly gases from the mines were detected in homes and even closed down the town's gas station. By 1981, the fire was visible at the surface in some areas and measured 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Some residents were given carbon monoxide detectors for their homes, but if it went off, all the resident could do was open a window. The same year, a sinkhole 150 feet deep opened under a 12-year-old boy who was saved by his cousin. Another resident was rushed to the hospital with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide poisoning. On June 12, 1983, the mine fire was determined to be under the town and affecting at least 195 acres total. Excavation of the fire would cost $660 million and destroy many homes. The town voted and decided to relocate, and $42 million was given to the Centralia Mine Fire Acquisition Relocation Project by the federal government. By 1990, only 63 residents remained, and today there are only 5 residents. Carl Wammer, the mayor of Centralia, stayed at his home until his death in 2014. Most of the buildings have been torn down, and it has been deemed Pennsylvania's modern-day ghost town. A 3/4-mile stretch of the abandoned Route 61 in Centralia is now called Graffiti Highway due to the large amounts of graffiti left from tourists. There is a large crack that extends the roads, and steam and smoke rise from the ground below. The fire still burns today under around 400 acres, and it could last for up to 250 years. The town smells of sulfur due to hydrogen sulfide gas being emitted from the burning coal, and a foot below the ground surface, the temperature reaches 836 degrees Fahrenheit. Cave-ins and fractures make the mine impossible to seal off, so there are no plans to put the fire out. Newer maps have even stopped including Centralia as a town, and in 2002, the United States Postal Service revoked their zip code. Another interesting thing that happened because of Centralia is the formation of the only geyser in Pennsylvania. Though the geyser of Big Mine Run is not a naturally formed geyser, it is part of an old mine drainage tunnel, and is thought to be from a drainage hole from the fire that causes the water to erupt. The water erupting is from the immense pressure that causes the water to shoot up nearly 15 feet after heavy precipitation. One of the original plans to extinguish the fire involved closing all drainage tunnels so the water would put the fire out, but there was a fear of high-pressure blowouts.